Now, if you've watched this show before, you know these are colors I'm not Miss Pink person. Okay, here comes a good one. Something unexpected in the shadows. I like to put unexpected things everywhere. I don't know, you ever remember being a kid and playing with the shadows on the wall and doing the little birds? Hi, welcome to Give Your Wall Some Soul. I'm Shannon Grissom. Well, today we're going to be working on a fuchsia, and if you looked at the beginning of the show, I say every time that I am not a pink person, and guess what? Today I'm painting something pink, and you know what? I changed my mind. What can I say? I got this great photo from a guy I met on Twitter. His name is Casey Leonard, and him and his wife, Holly, have the most incredible fuchsias every year. And so he was kind enough to send me some pictures, and so I'm really excited to get started on this. And I've been painting a lot of clouds, very neutral, quiet tones, so it's time to light a fire and paint some red, and that's just exactly what we're going to start with. We'll save the pink for later. So where am I going to get started? I think I will do something fairly logical. I'll base in the background just to get the energy going, and then we're going straight into the red. So what do I want to do? I want these to be some abstract shapes, so I'm just going to grab some sap green, and maybe pull down. I got to wipe my knife a little bit. Maybe pull down a little bit of Carbazole violet. And let's just see what I can do about making a nice wild background. I want some energy into these pieces, so I'm just going to scribble. Love to scribble and see what kind of shapes show up as I do that. I don't want it to be too perfect. I love that. That's nice. That's happy. A little bit more green here. I'm not using a lot of paint. I'm using a lot of medium. And I just want to get this background covered, not spend a lot of time on it really, I think, for this show. It's all about the flower today. And I'm wondering if that might be just a little already, just a little too warm. So I'm going to cool it down just a little. There we go. Add some interest. That's happy. I want to thank everybody who's been on Twitter giving me ideas and tweeting me about things to paint. It's great to get your feedback. Let's see, I'm going to paint right over that. Sometimes I decide that I don't want to paint something that I've already drawn, and I just go right over the lines. These are meant as a guide, not as something you have to stick to. I like the combination. You just don't know what's going on back there. That's happy. Mystery is good. A little bit of violet, just because. No, actually, it's a good neutral. A little more green here. I'm going to lift the canvas up, get this side. In fact, I could turn it over, but I think I'll just whatever it takes to get to the side of the canvas that you're working on. If you got to flip it over, that's good. Let's see, there's like a little cool green down here. Whoops, that was a little over the top. That was a little too much. And I see some people, when they put that down, they just freak out and they don't know what to do. Hey, stuff happens. That's why we have paper towels and all manner of things that make adjustments. So yeah, that was it was a really cool color, but it's not where, it's too much for where it is. So I'll just wipe it out, throw it out, and then got to wipe your brush or you'll put it back again. I've done that before. Things happen. Okay, I like that. Now I'm going to turn it over. Otherwise I'll knock it off the easel. And I'm going to leave some of that color there because it is very pretty. I just didn't want as much as I originally put down. Okay, that's good. Let's see what's going on this side. And one thing you can do, let's say you put a color down and you really like it. You didn't mean to do it. Well, you can make it look like you did it on purpose. And how would you do that? Well, just add it in a few other places. Like, woo, yeah, I meant to do that. There's a little there, maybe a little up here. Okay. So then it's just not some isolated process, it's a bridge. All right, so let's go over to this other side. See what we can do here. Now, why am I starting in the background? Well, you can work back to front, right to left, left to right. You can do it in a systematic way. For me, the reason I'm starting in the background is it will help me have a map of the shape of the fuchsia, so I'll know where to go. Because what happens is I get in the middle of the painting process and I lose my place, I get excited, totally distracted, so this helps me kind of keep myself in check and know where I need to go. That's a little dark. Can't have that. So what do I want to do? Add a little more green. That's still a little dark. Let's lighten it up with some of this, just a little bit. There we go. That's happier. Even throw in some purple here. What did I miss? There we go. Little straight green. And I might need to just switch brushes because there we go. Nope, I pulled it out. Sometimes you just run into trouble and you can either run away from it or confront it head on. And you know what? Sometimes I run away and sometimes I confront it. What do I mean by running away? Sometimes you have to let things dry and then wait until you're in a calmer place to go back into it. And other times you can just say, hey, I'm not accepting this, and see if you can work with it. I think it depends on the painting. I think it depends a lot on my mood. It's really, it's one of those, sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug kind of things. That's really what it boils down to. So. Like that. Need to add a little more variation there. Let's see. But with this brush, I'm not going to get it. So I'm going to get a brush that I haven't contaminated. And what do I have here? Let's go into some straight violet. Ooh. Just because. There we go. Now I'm using medium. You can hear me scraping it and scratching it right into the canvas. It's a very thin application of paint. Now if you look at the reference photo, there's a section right here of red that comes up, but that's actually an adjacent flower. And I'm not sure, I don't know if I'm going to put that in. So I think I'm going to just paint over that. That's what's cool about painting. You just change your mind about where you want to put things. I like it how it's not the same all over. It's very mysterious back here. That's working. Might be a little busy, but it's too early to judge. Does that stop me from judging? No, but really, you shouldn't judge that early on in the painting. You should just paint. Kind of like hearing a song the first time. Sometimes you need to hear it more than once to really get a sense of it. Scribbling some more. We need a little more blue because that's just been too long since we used it. That's all. Is this a little brighter than the reference photo? Yep. And it's possible that I may need to tone it down, that I'm really going over the top here. But I'm pushing it today, and I'm going to see if I can make it work because I am just in the mood. Worst case, I'll have to tone it down later. Okay, where's the bottom of this thing? All right, so there's dark under here. I'm breaking this up. Met some great people on Twitter. Casey cracks me up just about every day. And it's great. I get inspired by other people's art, too. It's just a wonderful place. Ooh, I love that purple. Okay, so now I need to find out, I need to make a little roadmap of what's going on down here. There's actually a leaf here, and I'm not sure that I want to put it in. I don't think I'm going to put it in. So let's see, so that means it would be more background right in here. Some of this stuff I decide where I'm going to go before I do the show, but really, when I start to paint, I have a general idea of where I'd like it to go, but I let the painting tell me where ultimately where we're going to go. Okay, that goes under here. We need to add a little variation in here. Yeah, it looks like it's darker in value there. So I'll just throw in some straight purple. Oh, it was kind of straight purple. Looks pretty brown to you, huh? Looks pretty brown to me, too. Because I didn't wipe my brush, but you know what? It created something fun, so I'm going to let it go. I mean, the whole thing is about having fun. For me, I like to create something beautiful. That's an important. Other people, you know, it's all. Some people want to make a statement. There are a million reasons why people paint. So, whatever floats your boat, go for it, and you can't go wrong. I think Katharine Hepburn's mom said that if you always do what you want, at least one of you is pleased. And so that so relates to painting. Try to please other people. Only in commissions. Okay, so stop there. How far? I'm going to cut this off just for composition's sake, even though I think it went down a little longer than that. And then let's see. That's pretty much all. There's petal there. There's some petal there. Maybe we'll just add a little. Stop that right there. Okay. Now I could play with this background some more, but I'm going to stop. I really am going to stop. but it is tempting. Now, what's tempting? I'm actually showing some restraint. I know it's hard for you to believe, but what is tempting to do now? It's very tempting to take a soft brush and just softly blend all this background, and so that it's really mellow and it's not competing with this flower. And so, and my concern is if I leave it this busy, it really would compete. On the other hand, when you do that, a lot of the wonderful personality and a lot of the wonderful things that you do get thrown away. So it's a case of, it might be a little too early to fall in love with that section of the painting. So I'm going to err on the side of caution and just stop, cover the canvas, and then decide whether I need to do it or not. I'm going to leave it alone. All right, so now let's go for some red because, gosh, it's just been way too long since I've painted red. Okay, so what do I want to do here? Let's mix some colors first. Yeah, this is good. Even if it does have pink in it, it's going to work. All right, so I need a dark shade of red here. I'm going to take some quinacridone violet. I'm going to move that over here. And I'm going to, let's see, how am I going to darken that up? I'm actually going to add a little bit of carbazole violet to the quinacridone violet. Ooh. I got lipstick that color. I got lipstick every shade red, actually. Okay. That's beautiful. That makes a nice start. That's easy. I could have also added the green to that, but it's going to be too similar to things that I already have going on there, and I wanted something different. All right, so let's block in some of the darks. That's not quite the right brush. Okay, this one's good. I think I used a little too much medium. All right, so where's the dark? I see some dark right here. Oh. It's almost like a little, just these weird little abstract shapes. That's dark, that's some right here. It's pretty dark back here. I don't think it's dark enough. I think I need more violet. Yeah. Woof. Going over the top here. What else is new? Okay, so there's some more dark right here. I'm just looking at these shapes, okay? I'm just looking for the shapes and value. What's dark, what's light, and I'm putting them in. There's got a little bit of light right in the middle there. All right, so what do I want to, how did I get blue all over me? I haven't even used blue yet. Okay. All right, so I'm going to add some of a little bit lighter red right there, and I'm thinking a little bit of, the thing about quinacridone violet and carbazole violet is they're transparent. So it's not really covering the canvas. You can pretty much see right through there. I need a little bit of the cad to kind of give it some body. So I'm going to add just a little bit of that. And I want probably Carolyn Scarlet for this middle. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Oof. Okay, I'm even going to add some. Here comes the pink. Quinacridone rose. Oh, that's gorgeous. Okay, now that's a little too bright for the center, but if I use a dirty brush with this, it'll work out. It should work out well. If not, I'll show you how to adjust it. Okay, so I'm going to put this right in the middle. Oh, see, that's gorgeous. Still dark. and then it's got enough body that it's covering the canvas. I usually don't worry too much about my initial first statement when I first cover the canvas because I do so much painting in layers. But I do want to give you guys a good idea of how to get this down without painting in the layer fashion. Okay, so where else do I see some of this? Maybe just right here where it turns. See, it's still a little muddy there. That's okay. A little red right there. I'm going to put this right over the top of where we were. Oof. That's good stuff. Okay. That's a little... I'm adjusting some of my shapes here. That goes out like that. And I think I need to get rid of this shape here. I'll just leave it for now. Okay, now I need a clean brush. Now, why do I use a million brushes? Because I'm not using any solvents to clean my brushes in the middle of the process, and how I do clean my brushes at the end, I swish them in canola oil and then dish soap so that I don't have the toxicity of having a lot of open turpentine. The problem with that is, so it's great, I'm not breathing all that stuff, but you'll see me using a million brushes just to get the job done because once you can't use it once you've put it in the canola oil because it's going to screw up the molecular composition of the paint. So I'll have a million brushes open. I just kind of wipe them off the best I can as I go through the process. But hey, at least I'm not inhaling fumes. So you can't blame my goofiness on that. It's just kind of how I am. All right, enough of that. All right, so we need some red. And I'm talking fire engine red, 57 Chevy red. All right. Oh, yeah. This is good. For me, this is just happy. Okay, so I'm going to take some of this Perylene Scarlet, Cad Red Light. Oh, yeah. You know, there's comfort food. This is like falling down and squishing. Okay. You have comfort food, and people have comfort colors, and even comfort subject matters when you're painting. For me, if I'm painting red somewhere, that's happy. And as far as comfort subject matters, people and pears. I don't know what it is. I love to paint both of those. So Twitter me and tell me what's your comfort color? What's your comfort thing that you like to paint? Okay, so we got some red right at the top, and you know what? I didn't put that over far enough. That's all right. Ooh. I might need to turn that up a little bit. I'm going to go straight into the Cad Red Light. And that goes down right here. These can be very, I keep picking up this blue paint. And I don't know where it's coming from. The problem with that is I'll probably scratch my nose or my face or something and have this smear of paint all over. And I won't know, and I know you guys won't tell me till after it's over. Okay, where was I? Here we go. All right, we got the light here. That really needs to come over quite a bit further, so I'm grabbing the other brush, the other paint. There we go. You just adjust as you go. Now I'm getting really close, but I'm not touching the edge here. I'm not touching the other color. It's kind of like kids who don't, she's touching me, or kids that don't want food to touch on their plate. Now I'm not being that weird. Bottom line is, if you get it really close without touching, then you can blend later and not make a mess. So I'm trying to be tidy. I start off being tidy. You know, it all goes the way it's going to go by the end of the painting session, but at least that's my intention to start off. Okay, so I'm looking for the light reds. I think that stops like right here. I am going to change that shape. And where else do I see it? It goes right here. And it does just right on the edge. Just right there. So there's a time for big, bold, careless strokes, and there's time to be careful. And I was a little more careful in that work there. Okay, now I'll just kind of blend this together. I'm applying a lot less pressure. There, that's good enough for right now. And this needs to be darker over here. I think I totally messed up on that shape, so I'm just going to fix it. Hopefully you can just go over it. I'm going to try some straight red. You know, sometimes when I'm sketching things out, I don't know what I was thinking. You just have to adjust it. Okay. There we go. All right, so that's dark there, and where is there some light at this very... That's the other thing. I'm at the point now where I use my reading glasses for things that are close up. But when I paint, until I get to the very end, I don't put them on because it helps me see only the big shapes, and I'm not getting lost in the details. So there's an advantage to aging. Really, there is. God, look at this. There's this blue that just coming from nowhere. It's on my easel. There we go. That's where it's coming from. Okay. What a mess. Okay, so I'll add a little red there. And I'm just going to finish this petal here, and then we'll blend. I'm exaggerating some of the red areas because we'll lose it when we blend. Partly because I overblend. There are people that can blend carefully and not have that happen. But I'm not one of them. In fact, most of the time it hurts me to have to be too careful. Okay, so what is that? I'm looking at this shape. I think the petal just kind of goes off like that. That's what we're going to do. And this one's just light around the edges. So now it looks like some funky little blobs. and we're going to blend them. So I'll take my paper towel, which you got to have that handy, and a stiff brush, and blend these. Oh, this is too stiff. That's just pulling the paint off, so I don't want to do that. I need something in between. There we go. See, I blended away some of the good stuff, and that's okay. We'll reinstate it. But I do want to get this covered. See, blend and wipe. Looks like there's a little bit down there too, so I will add a little red. Add a little green as I'm going, just adjusting these shapes. It still looks like, let's see, maybe maybe something from Little Shop of Horrors. We'll see where it goes. If it starts saying feed me, then I'm running away. Okay. All right, so I'm just double checking some of the shapes. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. What do we need to do here? We need some separation. So I'm just going to darken this little area right here. And tidy up a couple places. Same thing with this. And I'm looking at the background thinking it probably needs to be way darker. So, so I'm noticing that as I'm painting, but I'm going to keep going. It's like, don't look at the view yet. And for this little area, I'm just going to suggest this dark right here. Don't want to get too tied up into what's going on here. We got to keep moving. Okay, we need some light on the edge. I'm going to grab some straight. Yeah, I'm going to grab some straight white, believe it or not. With just a tiny bit of Cad Yellow Deep. There. That'll be a good light. Those my papers. We've had gremlins in the studio today, so they're messing with everything today. All right, so that didn't work, did it? Not enough paint. I'm just going to throw this down, throw that down, and stop. All right, so what do I want to do here? I need a little light there. And basically, I'm going to keep moving, even though I could futz with this stuff for a little while longer, but I definitely want to get this covered, and then we'll go in and see what we can do. But as I see this against this background, that is too busy. That is too much. You know, there are times, I can tell you right now, it was too early to fall in love with what I just did, and I'm going to show you how to kill it. Sometimes you just got to kill it. And I can't move forward unless I do. So sometimes things just have to die. So I'm going to do it quickly so that I don't waste a bunch of time. But I want you to see the process. It's like, no, this is too busy, too much going on, and you're not paying attention, or I'm not paying attention to the fuchsia. So I'm cooling it down with some violet and ultramarine blue. I'll add a little bit of green in there too. But it has to be a darker value. Can't be so busy. You get visual distress. You don't know where to go. And yeah, it was a beautiful thing under there, but if it doesn't make the painting, you can't get attached that early. There. See how this is starting to pop now? It's making more sense. Leave some of that. It doesn't all have to go, but it's got to be toned down. Now I can add, once this dries, some hint of green over the top and liven it up. But the way it stands now, it had to happen. Yes, that's making the whole thing pop a lot better. So I mean, look at the difference there. And you know, some of those color combinations were just gorgeous. And it's all about letting go. You got to let go of what you had for what could be. Sometimes it's hard for me to do that. But I like that little spot there. Why should I change it? But because it's not work. It's got to play nice with everybody else. It's like the neighbor that paints their house some color that doesn't work with anybody that's around it. Okay, I'm going to lift this up. Quickly get in the bottom. I'm not being too picky other than that I'm making it a dark value. And cool, dark and cool. That's important because if it was warm, it would come forward as well. I'm having it even darker on the very bottom so that it's not top heavy. And the nature of this piece is that it's a little bit top heavy because you've got this heaviness with the red at the top. So that's something I was considering anyway, but I still wanted to do it. There goes that gorgeous color that I loved, phthalo turquoise. Out of there. Okay. Yeah, so you knew, because when I started this, I was struggling with that. I wasn't sure where to go with it. And I had to go. Out of here. Okay. All right, so sometimes when you go through that whole process and then you go on to the next phase, you kind of just got to clear yourself, take a breath, and say, okay, where am I going to go next? Well, I need to make some nice little neutrals here. So I'm going to mix some color first. Mixing color is a good way to transition into another part of the painting. Kind of gets you back in the Zen place, not into the, because right there I was in thinking mode. I was totally analyzing what I had to do there. But this will get you back into the happy, mellow, let's paint place. Really it will. And we're even going to do pink. My goodness. Okay, so, but it's not going to be that pink. Let's see. I'll take some white. And, ooh, it's not good to just hang around with paint on your knife like this and talk with your hands, because, God, you know, that's probably where I get little bits everywhere. All right, so we've got white. I'm going to add a little bit of this blue, phthalo turquoise, a little bit of this red. Ooh, that's like so pretty and so not where I want to go. So I'm going to add some more red to that. Okay, this is one of those deals. Oh, God, that's gorgeous. Look at that purple. It's so pretty. And I can't use it. I can use, now here's the deal. You make a pile like this, and you think, well, you just add a little bit of white to it, and that'll lighten it up, and that's good thinking. Problem is, you'd need a whole tube of white to get that to the right value. So so that's okay. You just take a lot of that and move it somewhere where it can't hurt anything, and then add some white to it. Otherwise, you're wasting a lot of paint. See, even that. Oh, I like that. Is that going to work? No, that's too over the top. Still. Wow. All right, so I'll pull this away. I'll pull most of it away. I'll pull even more because I know what's going to happen. Okay, now I will add some white to this. That's good. Now look at that. See, that did not make it that much lighter in value, not that much, than what we had here. That's powerful stuff. Should we even use it at all? Well, yeah, because I'm stubborn. I would like to try it. I'd like to make it work. Here we go. We're trying again. Okay, that's good. That's a lot lighter in value, a lot more neutral. There. I sure hope I made enough. I think it needs to be a little pinker. A little, I never thought I'd say that, but yeah, it needs some more pink. So I'm going to add a little quinacridone rose. Okay, so that was a lot of quinacridone rose. Ooh, there we go. I'm losing my palette paper. There we go. Is that neutral enough? I don't know. Probably not. So I'm going to add a little of this purple back in. There we go. That was the darker shade. I'm going to put it down. All right. Now, remember when I said that mixing would get you to this nice little Zen place? That was not a Zen mixing session. That was a struggle, and sometimes that happens. So I'm going to break that up, and instead of mixing every color, I was going to mix 2 or 3 shades right at once. I thought, no, that's just too uptight. So I'm going to paint a little. Break it up. Do whatever it takes to get you there. All right, so where do I see that shadow? Right in here. This might not be neutral enough, but I got to let it go. It's on the canvas now. And there's some more neutral down here. And let's see, there's some like right here. And I'm just trying to find all the little shaded places. That's a little bit light there. Well, maybe I'll actually do them one at a time and see how that works. All right, so I'm going to take some CAD. No, I'll go back to the pink. Yeah, I'm struggling. Do I take the CAD? No, I'll go for some white and a little bit of quinacridone rose. Oops, I had some purple in there. That was not on purpose. That's too pink for me. I can't handle it. It hurts. It just hurts. Oh my God. Okay, I'll have to add a little white to that. That's just too, oof. We'll try something else. That's just not the pink I wanted. Let's try that. You know what? I'm going to have to do a mixture. There we go. So I took quinacridone rose, cad red light, mixed them together with some white. And I didn't mix them really good. I mixed them pretty, my husband's, it's kind of like a deli cut, you just barely get it cut. Same thing with the mixture. It's There's a little bit of everything there. Okay. I think it could be lighter, and I will throw some light over the top, but this will be a good start. It's a good difference in value. And let's go for some straight. I'm just going, in the beginning of the session, I carefully mix everything. And toward the end, I just stick my brush into the straight paint. And that's pretty, I'm not saying to do it that way. I'm just saying this is just real world. That's what happens when I paint. I start off being careful, and then I just paint. There, I lighten that up. Let's throw some more light here. Right over the top. I'm going to overstate the light, and that way when I blend, I won't lose it. Otherwise, I will lose it. I'm going right up into this red, but not quite touching it. And if I do, I pull away quickly so that I'm not smearing it. It's real easy to smear where you don't want it. All right, so there's very lighter at the very top here. I'm just going to put this stroke down and leave it. Famous last words, right? And then there's light there. Light right here. And that's not that light in that area. Okay. So, we've gone this far. We haven't blended any of this stuff together. Let's throw in some red really quickly. Just because it feels good. So there's red right under the top here. I'm just pushing it right into the paint that's already there. Now, at this point, we don't have time, we don't have time to carefully paint around everything. So I'm pushing it right into everything, and I would come back later and maybe clean up some of the edges. But this is a good application, how to get this thing based in. Okay. And I'm just pushing it right into these areas. I should probably wipe my brush a little bit. You can tell when it starts to get messy. And where else do I see some red? Right under here. And right there. A little bit poking out, like, somewhere around here. And gosh, down under here it's red as well. I don't have enough paint on my brush. So I just want to get these areas covered so it'll make sense. You have a good idea of how to base this thing in. All right, so then it comes time to step back and say, okay, where are we? Well, we can go ahead and put the rest of these little shapes in so that will start to make sense. And pretty soon it'll start to emerge. Hopefully. Okay. So I'm going to grab a little bit of this violet that I thought was too much. and make some separation between these little areas here. Almost outlining them. And that's because I'm losing my place. There we go. Yeah, do whatever it takes to help you keep your map going so that you know where you are at all times. That's great, like that. A little bit of violet there. Need a little bit of these darker colors so that it turns. A little darker right under here. Right there as well. Then I'm going to get some of the light out. New brush for that. I think it needs to be a little warmer. I'm actually going to grab some yellow, which is not, you don't see that at all in the reference photo, but I need that contrast. I need the warmth. There's some light there. Some light right at this edge. This is going to be shaded here, so I'm not so worried about that. And that's shaded as well. And let's put some of that pink back in, start blending. I'm avoiding the pink, can you tell? Can you tell? As kids, I'm a twin, and my, for whatever reason, my sister got all the pink clothes, and I got all the blue clothes, which is probably pretty good. But I never was a fan of pink, but I love these flowers. Okay, so let's blend that together. Let's see if we can pull a rabbit out of our hat and make this start to make sense. And that's got to be darker right under here. I got a little blue mixed in there, and sometimes you just have to say, oh well, that's just what happened. A little bit of pink there would help. And then add the light back in. Parts of this got messy and parts of it makes sense. And on a first statement, sometimes you can keep it clean and sometimes you can't. Okay, so we need some pink here. Throw this down over here. And what's going on down there? That's a darker pink. Let's get this covered. And a little bit right here. It's even got some red going on here. And then just throw in a little bit of the bottom section and we can start blending. Okay, so we got a running start at it. And right now it just looks like big puzzle pieces. Let's see if we can do a little bit of blending. All right, so I'm going to take this little area here. Blend that. Move this over here and blend that. I'm blending all the similar shades of value first, and then we'll go into the reds. And I just, by blending, wiped out some of my drawing, and that happens. So basically, what we got started today was a really good, messy first statement. Is it, right now it still looks like some little shop of horrors flower. But these are the building blocks for what would be the final fuchsia. So what I'd love for you to do is to go online and take a look at the finished product later. Twitter me, and I'll definitely send you a link if you don't get a chance to go to this site. But I hope in this whole lesson that you learn that it's never too late to change your mind. We changed the background. That even when you run into problems when you're mixing paint, you just keep plugging through and someday you'll get there. And I hope you just had fun and can learn how to give your own walls some soul. So Twitter me, and thanks for watching. I'm Shannon Grissom.